I'm incredibly excited to talk about today the Demon Rush trading card game $10,000 cash prize championship series tournament. This is the first major championship tournament we're going to have for the card game, and it's going to be a wild event. Cosplaying as some of the characters, we're going to have raffles, interviews, we have a red carpet with a big banner, and feature matches, live streamed, esports, the whole shebang. Not only will the winner get $5,000 cash, but they'll also be awarded the very first championship card, Blade of the Champion. This will be the only one available to the public, and it is incredibly powerful. If you have this in a holy deck, it will absolutely make you a terrifying monster. And we already have a player or two who are offering thousands of dollars to the winner of this card if they don't win it themselves. And if you win the tournament, you will get a chance to play against the creator of Demon Rush, myself, in a final boss battle. And if you win that, well, I'll have some really amazing prizes in store for you. I'm gonna keep those a secret for now. I'll announce it the day of the tournament. And we also have some YouTubers coming as well. We'll also have open play for anybody who wants to come and learn the game. If you want to get some booster packs, signed copies of the manga, or anything else, it's a great opportunity. This is the first Mastar meetup. Not only are we gonna have all of the Demon Rush players finally meet up, it's gonna be so much fun to hang out with everybody, but we'll get to see what truly is the stronger deck, evil or holy. I'm pumped to see what the top 16 deck lists look like. The price for this tournament is $30. It will start at noon, and we're gonna be doing Swiss. So probably 9 rounds, which means you can most likely still get top 16 if you lose twice. Definitely if you only lost once or you're undefeated, you'll get top 16. And then top 16 will be single elimination, but that's 9 rounds and then the top 16. So it will be a very long day, probably something like 12 hours. Make sure you guys stay hydrated and bring your snacks. The good part is it's located in a mall, so there's plenty of places to go get a drink or eat somewhere around there. It's actually in a very good area. We do have some unique rules for this tournament, so I'd like to give you guys the information you're gonna need going into this. Now, let's first talk about the beta. So it's the exact same thing as the alpha set, except the cards are thicker. They're more like credit cards now. There's some different foils in there. We have all the card errata updated. For example, Exodus in alpha only costed 1, and then we figured out how overpowered it was. We've since changed it to 3. So you will have to play by the rules or the costs that are on the beta cards. Just FYI, the errata is also on the website. Beta has a slightly different back to the card, which means that clear sleeves will be illegal for the tournament. So you have to use colored sleeves that cover the back of the card, so you can't tell which is alpha, which is beta, but you are allowed to combine alpha and beta cards. And let me just go over some basic card game rules for you guys. Anytime you search your deck for a card to add to your hand, you must show your opponent what that card is. That's called cherry picking, so that applies here. Most of the standard rules for trading card games also apply to Demon Rush. And in Demon Rush, you can mulligan once per match. So a match is best 2 out of 3 games, and in one of those games, you are allowed to mulligan if your opening hand is bad and you'd like to redraw your hand. But if you mulligan in Demon Rush, you don't have to draw one less card. You still get your full hand, but you can only do it once per match. Anytime you look through your deck for any reason, your opponent gets to shuffle and cut your deck. Decks must be 40 to 60 cards, not including your champion card. And I highly recommend that you guys will pile shuffle your opponent's deck to make sure they're not running less than 40. I guess if they do, you call over a judge and they'll probably get a game loss. We'll have to verify with their deck list. So the other thing is you will have to submit a deck list, but you can bring yours filled out or fill it out at the tournament. We'll collect it at the start of round 1 from your table. And the reason for this is that we can do randomized deck checks to make sure that nobody's running like 4 of a certain card or like 2 Adriels or something like that. We'll randomly pick people's decks, search through it, verify that it matches the deck list, and then give them their deck back and they can continue. If you're caught cheating, you will be banned for life. So I want the Demon Rush trading card game community to be a gentleman's game. I want there to be honor and dignity. I don't like rule sharking, I don't like slow playing, and I absolutely loathe cheating. And I know that because this is a $10,000 cash prize tournament, which the breakout for the prizes are here, so it's not all going to first place. The top 8 will all earn money. But I know that because there's money involved, sometimes players do suspicious things. So we're going to be paying very close attention to it, but you as a player also have to pay very close attention to your opponent. And one thing I'd like to note about that is your Imperium. Make sure that you're always keeping an eye on your opponent's Imperium. Write it down if you have to. I'm allowing notes, so some card games don't allow you to take notes. I'm going to allow you in the Demon Rush trading card game to take notes. And let's say your opponent ends their turn with 2 Imperium, and then you're going through your turn and all of a sudden they have 3 Imperium, like they accidentally nudge their dice over a notch or something like that. You're going to have to pay attention to that, make sure that people aren't cheating. If you have it written down, that's even better. We can always backtrack through their turn to figure out how much Imperium they actually have, but I'm just warning you guys because I know how card games are with competitive players, and you can write it down if you want, including the cards in their hand and where their Imperium is at the current moment. You can write it down if you want, and I encourage you to do so. But I do know that a lot of the local Marylanders, there is a huge competitive card gaming community here, and they love to play for money. So I figured that a lot of those players, when they see the cash prize, will get involved. And the exciting thing about this is there's no meta yet. It is the very first tournament for Demon Rush. So it's fair game for literally everyone to come in and win this thing. However, there are some complex ruling interactions with some of the ways that the cards interact with each other. And all of that information, you can find those advanced rulings, you can find on the website, but more importantly on our Discord. I highly suggest, if you're training for this tournament, if you want to play or just meet the community, join our Discord. And if you want to test out different decks for the tournament, you can also download our Demon Rush online game, which you can play for free, build any deck you want, and then test it against other players. Now that online game is still in beta testing. It's not fully released to the public yet, but if you join the Discord and you let me know that you want to play it, I'll send you a link to download it. And at the tournament, I will be selling booster boxes, playmats, single cards. I'll bring the ultra premium foils. I will be doing signings of the Demon Rush manga, which you should definitely pick up. I also have posters and a lot of other great stuff. So if you guys have any questions about the tournament, leave them in the comments below. I will reply to them. But I highly encourage you to join the Demon Rush Discord. We have a very active community there that loves the game and they love the anime and the manga. So they can also answer your questions. There's a ton of judges in there. If you have any kind of ruling questions or anything, or you just want to practice, the Demon Rush Discord is the way to go. Pick up your Demon Rush beta booster boxes today. They're already selling very fast. And while we do have more than alpha, I don't expect it to last very long. Get your boxes from shop.demonrush.com, and I will see you guys at the tournament.